Recording in progress.
Mara? Oh, no, I haven't. I saw the email.
I just opened it. It's like, okay, time for change.
That doesn't make me want to.
No, but I'm not saying get rid of it. It's just time for change. It's time to do.
Exercise. Well,
I don't want the people that don't.
you ready? Good evening, everyone. Call the meeting to order, July 14th, Greenfield City Council meeting. Everybody, welcome. Roll call, please.
Mayor White,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez.
Here.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Here.
Councilmember Moreno Mares.
Here.
Councilmember Garcia.
Here.
Great, thank you. Invocation by Pastor Deanna Salinas.
I just wanted to say something before I pray today. It's something that God has put in my heart concerning you guys here today. I know that at times there's more criticism than there is appreciation. But I want you to know that we appreciate you guys. Everyone that's in here that has some role in the city council and for the city. It's easy to criticize someone, but it's better to just zip the lip and pray. And I just want you to know that you guys, you're doing your best, and we don't always agree with everything, but you see, you have your place here in this city, and I have mine. But I just want you to know that you are in our prayers all the time, because I know it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and God put that in my heart this whole week. And I almost didn't do it, but I'm more afraid of him than I am of you. So I said, I'm going to do it. Amen. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for what you are doing. We thank you for just your plan and your purpose for this day. The agenda set before us today, Father God, is for your glory. Give them, Father God, this council, Lord, your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding. Father, I thank you that you are in the midst of even this place today, because you are everywhere. And in everything, Father God, we praise you today, because in everything, Father God, we need you. There's nowhere to go that you are not there. And there's nowhere that we can say we're on our own, because that's not going to happen. You are always with us. So thank you, Father God, for this time and this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Please stand for the pledge. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Sorry. Go slow. When we stand up, she wants us to go slow.
Gotcha. Very good. All right. Agenda review.
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
All right. We will now move to public comments from the audience regarding items not on the agenda. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the council on any items not on closed session, consent calendar, public hearings, and city council business. Under state regulations, no action can be taken on non-agenda items, including issues raised under this agenda item. Members of the public should be aware of this when addressing the council regarding items not specifically referenced on this agenda. Do we have any public comments tonight?
Hi, my name is Dorothy Jones. It's been a while, but you know, Greenfield downtown, it's looking bad. It's looking horrible. I mean, it needs to get cleaned up. Sidewalks need to get fixed. You don't know how many times has my husband fallen from just walking. You don't even run. God forbid, you know, he does fall, you know. These sidewalks are bad, Bob. I mean, they are bad. They got a yellow strip on it that they put. I guess that's supposed to let us know that there's a crack there and stuff. It's bad. It's really bad. And it's getting worse. Actually, he doesn't even want to walk here. He doesn't walk here. He goes to Soledad. He goes 9 miles to go walking in Soledad. So something got to be done from these sidewalks, and they're bad. I mean, you guys go walking around, you guys will see it. And that little yellow strip that you guys put there, that's not gonna stop people from walking. So it's something, you know, that, but the downtown, it's filthy, it's dirty. Now it's, I don't even go downtown. I actually go here, right here by the hall to go home. So it needs something. Come on, Bob. This is ridiculous. It's getting worse. It's not getting no better.
All right, thank you very much. All right, do we have anyone else in chambers? Seeing no one, I see we do have one hand raised.
Laura?
Good day, City Council. I just want to address again, I brought this issue before regarding the building and the meter readings. What has been done regarding that? I am recording my readings on a regular basis, taking pictures, and I'm seeing that my building is not the same as the pictures that I'm taking. It's not that you guys should be charging average. You guys should be charging the usage that we are using, not average or what my neighbor is using. Please address this. There is money coming in for that new structure of the drain. But I really want you guys to look into this. I'm not the only one addressing this. It's also on social media. You guys are responding to it, but I don't see you guys taking any action. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Beatriz?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
It's not very well. Can you, please speak up if you can.
Okay, hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to go ahead and do a request here. A very close friend of mine, passed away, and I would like to make a request to end today's meeting in honor of Maria Guadalupe Herrera de Cortez, who reached the age of 100. She was a very close friend of mine and a lifelong resident of Greenfield. She recently passed. And I think that all those that reach 100, especially the ones that reach 100, should be honored, So I'd like to see if the board would take this into consideration and, end the meeting, in honor of her. On another note regarding the water, I feel a lot. I'm kind of disappointed that I was not aware of the money, the grant money that was received. I didn't receive a letter stating, that we had received, so I don't know if it was the city that should have done just the same way that they sent the letters to opt out, on the grant before we got the grant. So I would appreciate, if somewhere or somehow, if I could meet with you, city manager, soon. I would like a little explanation on how everything is going, so that I can better understand the rates of it. I know that, at my house, there's 9 people here. The showers, the water that we use is basically for showers, for my dishes, etc. You should all come and look at my grass. I'm afraid to use water. And I so feel for the seniors that live on a fixed income, for the farm workers that work out there and they don't work year round. I wish that somehow we could find a better solution and give some type of credit, especially to the seniors and the farm workers. thank you for listening to me.
Right, thank you very much. Do we have any other public comments? Seeing none, I'll close that section and bring it back to city council for comments.
I don't have anything today.
Oh, thank you. She's giving me her minutes.
Yes.
You're so kind. Well, our country is facing many serious situations, including the safety of our country. But nonetheless, we are still have been charged to take care of our city and the people of Greenfield. So here are some concerns I've heard and worked with some residents this last 2 weeks. So residents asked me to look into garage sales and making the citywide garage sale on a specific weekend every year, or make it an annual every year so they can plan to participate a little better. Maybe Greenfield should look into having annual citywide garage sales on a dedicated weekend, and possibly even having 2, maybe like 6 months apart. If we make it annual and on a dedicated specific weekend every year, people can plan around them. It needs to be advertised well. And the garage sales actually help protect our landfills by giving people an opportunity to use materials and reuse materials. And also people could use that extra money. Regarding a beautiful Greenfield, thank you for the public comments on the sidewalk. I've seen the yellow strip, and I asked about the yellow strip in front of my house or next to my house, and I was told that that was not put on by the city. So they came and they looked and they said that wasn't there. They didn't do it. So I'm not sure who's doing it, but thank you. And we should definitely continue to look and see who is doing that. Maybe they're highlighting this one, fix this one. I've seen the strips. But there is a concern for graffiti in our alleys. And I wonder if there's something we can do to help our private property owners. Maybe it's just about letting them know how to report and letting them know they are responsible for cleanup. I think there may be some people who think that it's the city's responsibility to clean up the graffiti on their fences. And because it's in the alley, they think it's the city's alley. So I think we need some clarification, and also maybe approaching them with some support. And maybe we can get some paints donated, and so we can provide some support to people to help them paint over their graffiti or clean it up. Any advice on this would be very helpful from our police department. I know cleanliness is contagious. The reason I ask for maybe some advice from the police department, because I was out in my alley. It's mine, I bought it.
That's funny.
Yes. I was out cleaning it, and someone came by and wanted to take my picture doing it. I thought, well, that's very nice of you, but he thought I was actually graffitiing it. He thought I was painting. I said, no, this is cleanser. I'm actually wiping it off. So if you want to take my picture cleaning, that would be great. But I was wearing a hoodie and a mask, not to protect myself from the chemicals, but I was afraid, and I'm still afraid, that the taggers who are identified as belonging to a group might find out that it's me, and that then the repercussions is that I get either more attacked, or my neighbor, which is my grandnephew, and I'm not gonna tell you who lives next to me. But my family lives here. And so I was a little concerned because there was someone who came on my property last night around about 1:30. I just happened to be awake and saw them, and I got scared. But then I thought, I'm not going to call the police because by the time they get here, no one gets done. So I took it upon myself to go out there and scream at them to get off my property. and to leave the property that they were taking with them. And of course, all they did was laugh, and I know they'll be back. But, so that's why I want some help from the police department on graffiti, that as much as we want to help, it also, there's risk that we get in trouble by somebody else for doing that. But I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to keep cleaning. I don't know how else to build a fort around my house to keep people away, but I need some help on that. Number 3 point. On another very important issue I'm trying to understand is the matter of water and billing. I personally need some sort of workshop or training to understand the whole process from getting the water to our homes and businesses, to the water going through a meter that monitors the amount, to how that information gets interpreted and transferred to the city, to creating bills, to distributing bills, to collection of funds, and how this is being monitored to keep us transparent and accurate. I was not able to answer questions. And I know that we have sent people to come to the city hall to talk about things. I'm not going to talk about the responses that they feel but they're not feeling heard. So I'm not educated enough to explain this to our residents. Telling folks to call the city has not been successful. So I need training to better understand this whole process. I want to assure our residents that what we are doing is accurate and correct. And right now I can't tell them that. So I know this is a big ask, but we cannot deny it, and we have to look into this. And then my number 4th item should have been either item number 1 or number 2, because it's regarding bathrooms. And I'm talking about bathrooms, not just at the parks. I'm talking about the bathrooms at the Little League field during city events like T-ball and other baseball games and practices. So this past Saturday morning, we had the junior giants on the field, and the little ones had to go do their business, but the doors were locked. And there was a sign on there, which I didn't read, but the parents were shocked and worried about meeting their children's needs. I got to tell you, the 3-year-old didn't understand or care to hear my explanation of the city budget. He wanted to go pee, and we weren't going to make it home in time. And we all know the pee-pee dance. And the pee-pee dance isn't just done by kids. Their parents were out there too. And so both the parents, and adults and children, need the bathroom opens during our events. Families may decide not to continue to participate in our events if there are no bathrooms available, especially for their children. So can we have them open during their games and practices? It's not all day. We can't have anyone anymore wetting their pants. That's just humiliating. So let's work on this, please. Or give me a key if no one wants to go out there and do the job. I will do it. I will go open a bathroom for the 3-year-olds. Or I can haul a porta potty in the back of my car. But I don't want to do that either. It would be a good fundraiser, huh? Want to use my potty? 25 cents. But another idea that a resident and I were talking about, maybe like they do it at Starbucks, there's locks with codes. And if you give the code to the coach or the manager in charge of that event that day, and then change the code afterwards. So it's locked again. And by the bathrooms, because the bathrooms are locked at parks, we are finding more urine and other stuff outside inside the park, just saying. So telling kids to go home is not going to do it. And then my 5th and last point I want to say is thank you for flying the American flag half-mast. Is it mast or mask or staff? Staff? Thank you for flying the American flag half-staff, because we are honoring the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham, who served our country. He was always at work, whether you agree with him or not. he served our country. And with that, I just want to say, God bless America.
Thank you.
Good evening. So first I wanted to start off with, I attended the fireworks show along with Mayor and Councilmember Garcia. We had a lot of fun. I had to take a little break and go back home, but other than that, we made sure to go back for the evening, and it was a really good turnout. The show was really good. The weather was nice. It wasn't too cold or anything. So kudos to all of you who helped out with that. I agree with what one of the comments was outside. Lately, I've been trying to lose a little weight. So I've been walking, and I'm walking the district that I represent. And you don't see a lot when you're driving, but you see a whole heck of a lot when you're walking. And we've got a lot of issues with the sidewalks. I was so busy taking a picture, I fell into a hole. And luckily I didn't get hurt, because at my age, things don't heal anymore. They stay broken. Anyway, so we do have a problem with the cleanliness of our city. And I did also notice too that there's a lot of graffiti still out there. I took pictures. I had told Paul I was going to send it to him, and I just seen on my email that I never hit send. So I'll make sure to do that again. But the cleanliness is really concerning to me, and especially down ECR. And I really do think it's time. We've talked about this, well, since before I was on council, I would come up here and complain. And many times, years ago, actually took brooms and brushes and everything, and we cleaned downtown ECR. And but nobody's stepping up anymore, and I think the businesses really need some help. We have codes. Why are we not following those codes? Why are we not enforcing them? That's a big issue for me. Right now, we have to, we need to increase our sales tax. And how can we do that when, I love my city. I've been here for 68 years, but it's looking really run down, and we need to take care of it. It's time to take care of it. So, and I honestly don't believe that the city needs to do everything. It needs to be the community, it needs to be nonprofits, and people need to step up, it needs to be the business owners. But the problem is that getting everyone on board and having somebody spearhead this whole thing. So I wanted to ask the council and to see if we can put this on the agenda, make it an agenda item for us to discuss possibly making a committee of some sort to start this process. We've talked about it too many years already, and it's just talk. It's falling on deaf ears, and we need to do something now. And like I said, I love my city, but we need to clean it up. When my house looks messy, I need to clean it. When my yard looks messy, I need to clean it. It's as simple as that. So why not pitch in? And we have a lot of people that are willing to volunteer. When I do the Day of Thanks, we have 80 kids that step up to volunteer for that event. And I'm sure that we don't have a problem with getting people to volunteer in this community. And it seems to me like a lot of people are eager to help out, and they all have the same concerns. But again, we need to have a committee of some sort and start pushing this forward. We have people that are, we have one building that was painted. I'm not sure if it was in the color palette, but those are things that maybe they didn't know that we do have a color palette. Somebody emailed it to me and said, this is your color palette. Like, okay, I didn't even know we had one of those. But if they don't know, and if we're not sharing that information, then they're going to paint it whatever color they want. I mean, a couple of years ago, one of them painted the building black. It was right next to you. And that was like, okay, you walk out there, the black building. It wasn't cool. So if we can get that on the agenda, if all of you approve, then that would be really great. Also, I do have concerns about the water. I've seen a lot of comments on social media about it. I interacted with a couple of people, And, you know, they were asking questions and I was very honest with them. I told them, you know what, I don't know how the meters work. I don't know how they record information. I don't know the process. I know the process of when we were talking about the rates and how they were going to be adjusted and what we voted on, but the actual process of how we're getting people's information and, you know, making them a bill, I don't know. I'd like to know. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, I'm going to get it all and I'm going to figure it out. I probably won't, but at least if somebody's asking me questions, I can have some sort of idea on how, because there's nothing more frustrating for myself, and I'm sure other council members too, when people ask us questions, we should know and we can't even answer because we don't have the information. And it's our fault too, because we should ask. So I'm asking. Another thing is garage sales. I know that we had some conversation about garage sales and people were asking about the last time at our last meeting. And I do like all the ideas Councilmember Garcia was saying, but I did talk to Paul a little bit about actually, I'm not the type of person where you just make something simple. I'm always like, okay, well, we could go even bigger than that. I really do think that as I was walking through town, I seen a lot of places that, and a lot of them are older homes. They don't have the means. We have the place here where they do the cleanup, you know, where you can take your car over there full of junk or truck and drop it off. Not everybody has a truck. Not everybody has a car to go do that. And so what I started seeing was a lot of houses that they have a lot of garbage accumulated in front of their house. And that makes us look really bad. A lot of them don't. I asked one of the people in my district, like, why don't you cut the weeds? They said, well, what are we going to do with them? I said, well, you put them in your recycle. Yeah, but then it fills up. Then what do we do? Then they get blown all over the place. You know, that's an excuse to me. I figure something out. I can afford to have somebody come and haul away stuff, but not everybody can afford that. And we shouldn't try to embarrass them or anything, you know, to make them feel any less because their house isn't looking like everybody else's. So my idea, and I did share with Paul, was that maybe talking to solid waste recycle and find out, I did look that they do help with nonprofits. If they want to do some cleanup, there's also grants available where maybe possibly we could get some those big bins and have them out there, and people, if they have refrigerators, washer dryers, you know, different things like that, you know, that they could go and sort it. And not only that, in dealing with solid waste, because they're actually going to be a sponsor for A Day of Thanks this year, they're really eager to show us what's happening at the station out in Gonzales and in Salinas, and I think the other one's in Marina. And, you know, they want us to go. They've asked. I told them that I would talk to Councilmember Garcia about setting something up, and we could go out there and look at the process on what they do. I don't see where they would think of it as a negative, us getting bins and doing big recycling, because it benefits them, less work for them. And it puts us on the map that we're actually doing something and we care about, you know, our earth and everything else. So it's something that maybe we can look into and see if we can make it happen. Another thing was the, I hope that, again, I'll ask the council again, maybe if we can put on the agenda, maybe you already have plans to do this, but if we can get on the agenda the city-sponsored events. We need to have a serious conversation about those events. And then I'll get on to good stuff. We have our event for the, hold on, let me pull it up real quick. The event for the Relay for Life and is coming up, and we've decided it's going to be on August 8th, and it'll be at Parkside Park. It's over in my district. And Council Member Garcia will be helping with that. It starts at 10 o'clock. The first stop is at 8:30 at King City is the kickoff. Second stop is at 10 a.m. at Parkside Park. Third stop is 11:30 at City of Soledad, and the last stop is at 1 p.m. in Gonzales. They will be bringing the torch, and they're actually driving it, but we're going to get maybe a survivor from here from the city of Greenfield to do a little walk through the park. Supervisor Lopez will be there. He will be making a speech. I've asked the mayor if he could attend. Someone from the Relay for Life and also from the American Cancer Society will be there also to give out information. And I do think right now I have another speaker, a survivor that's going to actually talk on that day. We're going to serve a light breakfast in the morning because it is at 10 o'clock. So we'll probably be out there for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Everyone is welcomed in the community. Everyone is welcomed. And I think it's just really important to show our support for people who have lost loved ones to cancer and are going through, treatment. It's a very difficult illness. I've lost my sister, my brother, my father, all to cancer. And they died way, way too young, very young. Actually, I've outlived them right now. So this is something that's really important. And I hope that y'all can come and support it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I was going to talk about the PG&E outages, but I think Mayor White actually has more information than I do. So I will table that one. I do have an update that really belongs under my MST update, but because I know some people don't stay until the very end of the meeting when we do that, I want to talk a little bit about it now because I think it will be of interest to a lot of our residents. At this month's MST meeting, yesterday actually we met, we approved a contract with Uber. It's a $50,000 contract where they are going to provide services up to 10 vouchers per person per month. And it is specifically for seniors, people with disabilities and veterans. But they're, unlike other programs, there's no limit as far as it's a regular Uber ride in the sense that somebody can come with you on the ride. There's no limits to where they take you. It doesn't have to be for specific purposes. So it's not like you're having to prove you have a doctor appointment. This is just to help our residents get to whatever it is that they need to do. So the soft launch is this month, so it's already in effect. It's we're one of a few cities, so it's Prunedale, Pajaro, Castroville, Gonzales, Soledad, us and King City are part of it. It's funded by Measure Q, and it goes until December of this year. So we really want to spread the word. MST is going to be doing a lot of marketing, and Uber is also putting a lot of their marketing behind this to make sure that our residents are aware of it. But I wanted to share that news and also ask that everybody spread that news so that we can make it really successful and also encourage more people to sign up to be Uber drivers because we don't have, it's only going to be as successful as there are drivers. If we aren't getting rides actually picked up because we don't have enough drivers, then that's not going to help. So if you are a person that is looking for side income or income in general, it would be a great time to maybe look into doing Uber and helping this be a successful program so that we hopefully adopt it after the pilot ends in December as an ongoing thing. So that was part of my MST update. That also reminded me about the contract that we approved for the taxi provider, and if we could get an update on that, and if they did submit what was needed as far as them joining the taxi voucher program through MST. We are part of this pilot program because we aren't part of the taxi voucher program. So in a sense, it helped us that we don't have that, but I would like to know a status of what's going on with that taxi provider and if they are going ahead and getting qualified for the voucher program. The next thing is the Inclusive Parks Communication Boards that we had discussed several months ago have arrived, have been delivered. And it's my understanding they either are going to be installed this week or have been installed already. Ours are gonna go at Patriot Park, and there will be a ribbon cutting event on July 20th at 5 p.m. at Orchard Lane Park in Soledad. It was the city of Soledad and Supervisor Chris Lopez's office that really helped make this possible. So, and our recreation department as well. So they're holding the ribbon cutting at Orchard Lane Park, and I invite anybody to come out and be part of that. And then the last thing, just to touch on what a few of us have been hearing, I think, from our residents regarding the water issues. I would like to echo the request to have a presentation on on the meters, everything about how, how and when they're read, how that translates to billing, like give me a presentation like I'm a 5-year-old about this because I don't understand it. I'm getting flooded with questions as well. I also wish I could answer, but I don't want to act like I know the answers and misrepresent any information, so, or misinform our public. So if we could have a presentation on that, I think that would be great. It's also been a while since we had those community meetings where we talked about, like, if we get, option A, we get the loan, or we have to go with a high interest loan, all of those details that we really delved into during the time that we were looking at those rate hikes. It's been a while, and I think a refresher about
I think some of that's.
yes, we'll be doing one of those or revisiting one of those increases tonight, but I think it's been a while. People have forgotten because a lot of those questions have come back up again, and maybe tonight will help clarify. But if we continue to get questions, then I think it would be helpful to get a refresher on that also, just as part of all of that item. And that's all I have.
Right, very good. As Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, I did get an email from PG&E from Megan Range. She is the representative for PG&E. To address to myself and Manager Wood. I'm reaching out to notify you that PG&E Emergency Operations Center was activated in support of a possible public safety power shutoff event affecting communities throughout our service area. While it is not expected to impact the residents of the city limits, I wanted to send along some information in the event that changes or you receive questions. So it's not gonna, at this point, as of 4:30, affect the city limit. So it's more out in Arroyo Seco and along Metz on the other side, I think, in our area. So just to give everyone the most recent update that I got. So I do have a few other things. I also want to thank everyone involved in the 4th of July celebration, especially Jesus Perez and the Recreation Department. It was another successful event as we celebrated our 250th anniversary. Several things going on. If you're looking for some exciting things to do, Greenfield Public Recreation District is having a Sunday Fun Day this Saturday, July 19th from 12 to 4 at Oak Park. The event will include jumpers, vendors, music, and family fun. Remind everyone that National Night Out is August 4th at Gazebo Park. If you're not familiar with the event, it's an annual event designed to strengthen relationships between neighbors and local law enforcement. Foster safer, more connected communities. Also, the Heart of the Valley Chamber of Commerce is having a Boots and Business event Friday, August the 7th. This is a line dancing lesson with food, music, and beverages available. This event is being held at the Greenfield Memorial Hall from 7 to 10, so go out and support these local events and have some fun. Remember, the Chamber of Commerce is there to promote businesses, try to help us increase our sales tax revenues and help local businesses be successful. I've had some folks approach me about having bingo in Greenfield at the Memorial Hall. So if we could get a report on that soon, that would be appreciated. Like to hear what's going on with that. As Councilwoman Ortiz mentioned, there's a Relay for Life event on August the 8th at Parkside Park, which she went over all the details. And for those of you that didn't see, City Manager Wood and I were interviewed by KSBW about our $111 million wastewater treatment plant project and the fantastic financial package that we were able to obtain. We were able to get a $75 million grant, which means we don't have to pay it back, along with the balance of the financing at only 2% interest, which is a fantastic interest rate for nowadays. It's a huge accomplishment for our city, and I want to thank everyone that was involved, including city staff, city council, who made some hard decisions along the way, and our other elected officials, including Assembly Speaker Rivas, State Senator Laird, and of course the state and regional water boards, who are all a part of us getting this project underway and receiving the financing. So thank you very much. That's my report. We can now move on to consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one action of the city council unless a request for removal for discussion or explanation is received prior to the time council votes on the motion to adopt. Do we have any public comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve. I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We will now move to J1, introduction and first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Greenfield amending sections 10.12.030 and 17.58.040 of the municipal code. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor White and City Council. This item is intended to codify the pilot RV parking program that you've heard about and considered a few times. Essentially, the change that is being proposed in the city's municipal code is allowing recreational vehicles and boats and the like to park in front and side yards, whereas currently that isn't permitted. So the pilot program has been in place for over 2 years now and has been deemed successful. So the purpose of this agenda item is to memorialize that in the city's municipal code.
All right. Thank you. I will go ahead and open the public hearing on this item. Public hearing is open. Does anyone wish to speak to this item? Is anybody online? I will go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to City Council for comments, review, and action. Sure.
So when you say park in their yard, like, we're talking park in the driveway on the side, not park on the lawn or anything like that, which we have a huge problem already with that?
Yeah, the language specifically says permitted in required front and street side yards, provided that the boat, trailer, or mobile home does not encroach into or upon any public sidewalk or right of way.
No.
Okay. Is your concern that they would park on areas that aren't paved?
Well, a lot of our residents they don't have a front yard per se, like lawn. They have concrete out there and they park. I have an issue with that.
Well, yeah, we can make changes, or I can look and see whether there is another section of the code that doesn't allow parking on like a turf. I don't know that off the top of my head, and I don't see anyone here that might know that off the top of their head. I can look.
If you could.
Yeah.
Should we maybe continue this item then maybe?
We could
Or
continue it. Yeah, if that's something that the city council wants to ensure.
I would kind of like to know that too, actually, to make sure we are not just allowing,
Yeah. so
parking all over the front of the yards.
And the pilot program didn't require.
Yeah, we didn't get, that didn't come up. I mean, that
No,
was a
it
long
never- it
pilot,
didn't.
so.
But it's something we can certainly look, I can look and see if it's, like I said, if it's included in another section of the code, or if not, added to this part.
Because my concern is that a lot of people have cemented and then they park all their cars up, right to the front door of the house, which that concerns me because if there's ever a fire, like, do these cars have gas in them?
Yeah.
Is that going to compound? Is that, I'm thinking for the safety of our firefighters and the people in the home also. We have had really, really bad fires here where people have lost their lives. And so it's a concern.
So it's not just the surface it's parking on, but how close it is to the building.
Yeah. Because I could see, like, if they park on the side, I park on the side sometimes when I have company, so we park off of the driveway, we park onto the side. But I know a lot of people that are parking all the way up into their homes. And, if you drive down in my district, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but you drive down to my district, you'll see cars all the way up to the front door. And that concerns me. If there's a fire, anything like that, how do people even get in there, to help anybody? I don't know.
I agree. No, I think we should make sure we're clear on that before we adopt the ordinance.
Yeah, there's probably municipal codes about, or city codes about just parking. I mean, what's that,
Yeah,
that
that's
says where you can't park. I know that we started with, it has to be on the driveway, and then people got creative and added cement to their sides of their houses and stuff like that. But this isn't new, so I'm pretty sure there's some codes already that says where you can or can't park as far as my house, but we should clarify.
I would
it.
like to be sure before we
Absolutely.
change it. So do we want to make a motion to continue the item until the 28th, or what do you think?
Yeah, if you continue it to the date certain of the 28th, then there won't have to be a republication in the newspaper of the item. So yes, that's what I recommend.
So do I need a motion to that effect? Okay.
Move to continue item to the 28th of July.
All right. I need a second.
Second.
And move to second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So let's continue. Thank you. We'll move to item K1, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenville approving a decrease to wastewater rates. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On December 9th, following completion of the 2025 sewer rate and fee study prepared by Robert Niehaus, City Council conducted a Prop 218 public hearing to consider adjustments to the city's wastewater rates. The rate study concluded that significant revenue increases were necessary to fund the replacement of the city's aging wastewater treatment plant, maintain regulatory compliance, and provide sufficient revenues for operation, maintenance, reserves, and future capital improvements. The rate study assumed that the $111 million plant replacement project would be financed entirely through borrowing. Based upon that assumption, the study recommended a series of wastewater rate increases sufficient to support the anticipated debt service while maintaining the financial integrity of the sewer enterprise fund. After the completion of the Prop 218 process and adoption of the wastewater rates, the city was awarded significant grant funding toward construction of the new wastewater treatment plant. As a result, the amount that must be financed through loans has been substantially reduced. Because debt service represents one of the primary drivers of the wastewater rate increases adopted in 2025, the receipt of grant funding has reduced the revenue necessary to operate the sewer enterprise while still meeting all financial obligations. The city's objective has always been to establish wastewater rates that recover no more than the actual cost of providing the sewer service, consistent with the requirements of Prop 218 and sound utility financial management. With the receipt of the grant funding, the city no longer requires the full level of revenue anticipated when the original rate study was prepared. Rather than collecting revenues that exceed the amount necessary to operate, maintain, and improve the wastewater utility, staff recommends reducing the previously adopted rates. The proposed monthly wastewater rates are reduced to, the fixed monthly charge is reduced to $36.74, and the variable charge per 1,000 gallons to $11.81. These rates are lower than the rates previously approved through Prop 218 process and remain fully within the maximum rates noticed to property owners and customers. Prop 218 permits a public agency to adopt rates lower than those contained in the notice provided to customers. We believe the adoption of the reduced rates demonstrates the city's commitment to financial responsibility by passing the financial benefits of grant funding directly to sewer customers while preserving the long-term financial sustainability of the sewer enterprise fund. The city completed the Prop 218 noticing and public hearing requirements prior to adoption of the wastewater rates in December of 2025. The California Constitution authorizes a public agency to adopt rates that are less than or equal to the rates included in the Prop 218 notice. Because the proposed rates are lower than those previously noticed, no additional Prop 218 notice is required. So in general, I think we did the high and the low. Remember, the high was what we had to pass, what you had to pass. That was increases, 5 years of increases, first year 65%, which we did in January of this year. July 1 would have then been 24, 25%, and then 20 or 21% for the next 3 years. We don't need that because we got the $75 million grant. So what we're proposing here is to reduce the rates. We did the 65% already in January. We did a 5% increase this year, and then the next 2 years would be 5% again, and the last year would be 4%. Much lower. So that's what this is about, is reducing the rates to take that lower path that we had hoped we would be able to take, but we didn't know before the Prop 218 vote. So that's the staff report. I'll take any questions.
All right. Do we have any questions from council? Actually, let's go ahead and do the public comments on this item. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, I'll bring you to council for questions. Any questions?
Is that written somewhere? The numbers that you
Yes.
just,
This is a report that we got back when we were talking rates. I just pulled it out. My question is, I think it kind of goes along with what you're wondering. How much of a difference are we talking about, Paul? I mean, I know that it's made the $75 million is a lot of money that we don't have to pay back. So that should make a huge difference in
It
the
does.
monthly rate.
Yeah, the increase that we just saw as of July 1st is only $2 to $3
Right.
in the fixed fee. And I'm not exactly sure. It is very significant.
Yeah. From 91.24 to 95.79, I think was this one.
Okay.
I think if we had not reduced it, I think the max was supposed to be around 197 in a few years.
At the end of 5 years.
At the end of 5
yes.
years. The max should be around 109 if I'm reading this report
Yeah, I think
correctly.
that's
So
correct. Yeah.
a significant $80 to $90 difference per month per household. So
Right.
this is a huge reduction. So I think we should all be really proud of the fact that we were able to obtain this financing. It's going to make a huge difference in the long-term effects to everyone who's using water and wastewater. So any other questions?
I don't really have a question, but I want to make like a clarifying statement because of all the questions that have been coming up from residents, just that all of this was done intentionally from the beginning, us passing the higher rate, always with the hope that the best case scenario, as we called it, getting this grant and then being able to pay a low interest loan back, that this was kind of covering ourselves in passing the higher rate. And I am pretty sure I speak for everyone saying like that was a difficult decision for all of us. It was hard. We pay sewer rates here in Greenfield too. My bills went up as well, but we had to make that decision, which was very difficult. Just having the hope that we were going to get that grant and that then we wouldn't have to do the whole noticing again of a public hearing and stuff. So this was always the plan, and it's a testament to our city staff that had the foresight to how can we do this so that it's less difficult down the road, and then we can go back and do this the easy way. So I want to just thank our city staff also for doing it this way so that now we don't have to go through all of those hoops again, and we just get to say the rate is going to be lower because we already covered that. And yeah, we're really fortunate that we secured that.
That we
funding.
received the grant. Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I would move to adopt 2026-72.
Before I call for the vote, I just want to say, and I think it's a testament to us and to the staff. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that was involved. There's a number of hands that were involved in this. Paul and I spoke in Sacramento. We had consultants that helped us along the way. Got a lot of feedback on how to do this properly. We passed those higher rates originally because we would not have been eligible for the $75 million. And we should be very pleased. Other cities are having sewer problems also. We just happen to be first. And there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of rates that are going to be going up. Luckily, we're able to lock ours in at a much lower level. And hopefully this will be serving us well for a long, long time. So, yeah. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to K2, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield accepting California Highway Patrol Cannabis Tax Fund grant program funds in the amount of $200,732 and approve a $200,732 budget appropriation for the grant. Staff report, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Super happy to announce that we received this competitive grant from the state of California from the Cannabis Tax Grant Fund Program. $200,732 is pretty significant. It's more than twice as much as we received last go around. And I really have to give a shout out to our sergeant, Brian De La Torre, who wrote the grant, did all the work back and forth with the state, and had to jump a whole lot of hoops to get this approved. But he did it on his own volition, and kudos to him and our police department for supporting him. As we know, traffic safety is important in our town, and this will pay for overtime. I believe almost $78,000 in overtime to do traffic enforcement, collaborative enforcement with neighboring agencies, and also do DUI checkpoints. It will also pay for a vehicle. So we have about $92,000 to upfit a vehicle and also purchase of a trailer to help with the traffic enforcement. So this is a very generous way of improving the burden upon our citizens to fund our police department and all the operations that we have, and also to provide the services, because it also includes outreach, going to schools, going to churches, meeting with our community, buying materials, and doing as much outreach as we can. So this is a pretty inclusive grant for the city. We're really proud that we're able to get it. And it's pretty straightforward. So staff obviously recommends that we approve and appropriate the funds stated. Any questions?
All right, let's go to public comments. Do we have any public comments on this item? K2. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council. Questions, comments?
Thank you. You know, we were just talking about budgets and providing the needs and where do we cut, and everybody having to find a way to help. And this just goes to show how our city isn't always just, oh, well, you're not going to help me, I'm not going to do anything. Instead, you know, we have grants coming in. We have people who are looking for ways to bring in money anyway. And so I thank you. And then the other part is thank you for wisely using that amount of money in the correct way, in ways that are going to help us all, not just police officers, but it's there to help our city. So thank you for being on the positive side of things. Gracias.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say congratulations. I admire not just your department, but all staff that, you know, we're not sitting here waiting, trying to figure out, you know, where's money going to come from. We're actually going out there and getting money. And that's really important, you know, especially with the times that they are right now. And just want to say congratulations.
New car, that helps long-term budgeting. I mean, thank you very much for doing that. And I'm happy to see the money there specifically for the outreach also. That's very important in our community. So again, congratulations. Thank you. I entertain a motion on item K2.
Move to adopt 2026-73.
A motion to adopt. I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We'll move to K3, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield approving an administrative vehicle lease from Headland Automotive LLC for a detective vehicle funded through Northern California Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Program. Staff report, please.
In our continued efforts to reduce the burden of our budget on our residents, we have secured a lease agreement through the Drug Enforcement Agency in the high intensity drug trafficking area from Northern California, of which we are a member of. So our detectives participate in narcotics trafficking throughout the whole county and actually Northern California. With the contract and with the work that we're doing, we're one of the very few agencies that they will support us with the lease of a vehicle. And their mechanism for funding of the vehicle is through a lease, solely through a lease. So our agreement with Headland Automotive is for the lease of the vehicle to be reimbursed by the HIDA group. There is a small upfront cost, $2,000 for the initial fee. We will pull that out of our budget. But other than that, there's no impact to the budget as it will be funded fully through the DEA HIDA group. Obviously, staff recommends that we go forward with this contract, and I'll take any questions.
Do we have any public comments on K3? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments and questions.
Thank you.
I did the math. I don't know if I did it correctly, but in the lease payments look like about $25,000 in lease payments for the 3-year period. So congratulations on that also.
Thank you.
All right, I need a motion on K3.
Move to adopt 2026-74.
I have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, K4, resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenfield adopting a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2026-27 in the amount of $51,661.54 for the wastewater treatment plant expansion loan, interest payment, and equipment lease and interest payment. Staff report, please.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council members. Tonight, staff is requesting your approval of a budget adjustment for this fiscal year 26-27 in the amount that you have mentioned, $51,661.54. This adjustment is needed to fund 2 required interest payments that were inadvertently omitted during the preparation of the proposed budget. So during the review of upcoming debt service and these obligations, we identified that 2 interest payments were not included in the fiscal year 26-27 budget. The first one is the interest payment associated with the wastewater treatment plant expansion loan in 2006, totaling $34,821.31. The second one is the interest payment related to equipment lease, which was signed in 2015, totaling $16,840.23. These payments are required obligations. An appropriate budget authority must be in place for the city to meet these commitments. The requested budget adjustment will be allocated to the interest expense account within the sewer fund. Approving this adjustment will correct the omission and ensure that staff can process both payments on schedule. This action supports our continued compliance with debt service requirements and maintains the city's financial integrity. Staff recommends that the City Council adopt the resolution approving this budget adjustment. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Let's open it up for public comments. Do we have any public comment on K4? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments, review, and action. Any questions or comments? I just wanted to clarify a couple of things.
Yes.
So this is not general fund money. This is
Sewer fund.
sewer fund.
2 interest payments.
Okay. And does anybody remember what the prior work was for, just and how long ago it was?
Yes, the first one was for the sewer expansion plan or expansion loan, which was signed in September 1, 2006.
2006, so 20 years ago.
Yes, and
Okay.
then the second one would be the equipment lease associated with the energy conservation measures.
Solar.
Yeah, solar
okay.
panel, yes, which was signed in December 10, 2015.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
So this isn't anything this council did, just checking.
What's that?
This isn't anything this council did,
This is a long time ago.
long time ago. This happened a long time ago, a long time ago. I wasn't here. Just making sure before anybody starts calling me.
But it's also something that we can't like just not pay either.
Right,
So
it's an obligation. of the
that's just
city
to also clarify that, I guess it's a
Yeah.
financial obligation, so
We pay
while
our
we're
bills.
voting on it, it would be like voting to not pay our bills.
Correct.
So,
We're not going to do that.
No.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on item K4.
move to approve.
Need a second. Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll move to K5, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenfield approving a budget adjustment in the internal service fund for health services, self-insurance, and long-term disability insurance for fiscal year 2026-27. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor, council members, this item is simply a cleanup to the fiscal year 26-27 budget. All the department's insurance costs were budgeted correctly, but the internal service fund, which is where we actually process health, self-insurance, and long-term disability payments, was accidentally left out without the matching appropriations and revenues. This adjustment puts those amounts into the fund so we can continue paying our insurance bills normally. There's no fiscal impact because employer and employee contributions fully cover the cost. So staff recommends approval. Thank you.
Do we have any public comments on K5? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments, review, and action.
So inadvertently omitted means what?
Meaning to say that we unintentionally omitted this. It was left out. So the insurance costs were already budgeted per department. But this adjustment is for us to process the payment through the internal service fund. And this is funded through our, the employee and employer contribution towards health, self-insurance, and long-term disability.
So I'm just going to read off of this agenda item. There is no net fiscal impact to the city as all expenditures are fully offset by corresponding employer and employee contributions. Department budgets already included in their insurance cost allegations, and there is no impact on the general fund.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So it's more of a budget.
it's really about bookkeeping.
It's an accounting thing.
It is an accounting thing. And it's unfortunate because the entries are needed every year and it has to do, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you process payroll and you deal with insurances and all that. The internal service fund is set up in large amounts, as you can see, almost $1.8 million in these two line items. And the way we pay our insurance bills when we get billed by Blue Cross is through these accounts. If these accounts don't have numbers, then the bills are processed. But all of the expenses are allocated across all the departments. Those are in the general fund. Sorry, and this internal service fund isn't the general fund. It's bookkeeping. It's how our system processes these bills, payroll, and how we pay our insurance companies that we pay.
So it's a better way to track it, basically.
Well, I don't. We could talk all night. I don't know if it's a better way to track it. It is the way our
It's a
system
way to
works.
track it.
It's a way to track it, and we need to do it that way
Okay.
in order to do it. I think we can make some improvements, but
Yeah.
it ain't gonna be this year.
It's basically a clearing fund. So just so we can process the payments. Because payments are not only employer contribution, it's also
Yeah.
employee contribution.
Right.
So in the book, we can only see the employer contribution, the expenditure amount, but we don't get to see the employee contribution. So the employee contribution goes to this fund where you will see the revenue account there. those employee contributions amounting to 472,916.20, while the employer contribution totaled 1,676,729. So basically, this fund, this internal service fund, is a fund or a clearing fund so that we can process our payments that include employee and employer contribution.
And I think her description of a clearing fund, that's really the basics of it.
Okay.
We didn't make the entries in the clearing fund for both the revenues and expenditures that help the whole system work. All the expenses are allocated. It's all in the general, well, it's all in the general fund and the sewer fund and the water fund and all the other funds. That stuff's already done, not impacting that at all. It's just the clearing fund that doesn't have the proper numbers in it.
It's not new bills, basically.
No, it's not new bills. It's not new bills. It doesn't change our budget. It just allows us to put it in here so that we can process payments.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
So is there a way to avoid inadvertently omitting?
So the problem with having like the book, the budget book printed, so a lot of that's manual. It's manually done. Now, Mariah, thank you, Mariah. I think you're in our audience. Congratulations again, and thank you for your help on automating some of that. But if those numbers aren't in the spreadsheets that they get fed from, they don't get put in the book. And they're not there mainly because this is just a clearing fund. When we're doing the budget and we got a budget deficit that we're dealing with, we're focused on everything else, making sure that we can get a balanced budget. This has nothing to do with the balanced budget. So if there's no numbers in there, and I don't think there were any numbers in there, they didn't get done, and we didn't check well enough at the end. We didn't do the check at the end that made sure that these last two items were basically, we didn't do a good enough job reviewing the document before we actually got it approved.
Okay. All right, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on K5.
Move to adopt 2026-76.
I have a motion to adopt. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to K6, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield accepting the Measure X Senior and Disabled Transportation Program Grant from the Transportation Agency for Monterey County and approving a budget adjustment for fiscal year 2026-27. Staff report, please.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and City Council members. To add to the services that Uber is bringing to the area, we have this Measure X grant funding that is going to be spread between three years. We know that there are a lot of public transit services available throughout Monterey County, but there was still concerns from senior residents about this fixed route transit that was not covering a lot of their needs. We surveyed a lot of them. I didn't get the survey numbers, but part of that survey was mentioning that these bus stops, there were still physical limitations that didn't allow them to get from their home to the bus stop, and then from the bus stop to the grocery store or to their appointment, etc. So there was also limited service schedules and the need for those personalized rides. So in order to address this, we submitted this application to TAMC for funding through the Measure X Senior and Disabled Transportation Program. This program will provide vouchers to subsidize the full cost of the service that's provided by ITN through their Valley Line service, which serves the South County area. This will be specifically for Greenfield residents in this case. The special thing about this service is that ITN provides a door-through-door, arm-through-arm transportation. This will be for seniors and individuals with disabilities. That just is that extra peace of mind that those riding will get brought from their door into the vehicle to, for example, their appointment inside of the doors. So that's a very unique service that it provides. On May 27th, TAMC Board of Directors approved this application in the amount of $50,244. And it will be administered starting, planning will start July 1st, has started July 1st, and it'll be ending June 30th of 2029. There are some percentages there. We wanted to have a very competitive application. We were the only city who has ever applied for this grant. So it was very nice that our partnership and our the way that we were going to provide this program was very competitive. So it's going to cover 85% of out-of-town trips and 70% of local trips. The riders would be paying the remaining balance. That the cost is there, that was provided by ITN. The financial impact, there is no financial impact to the general fund. This is a reimbursement grant that is funded through TAMC. And staff is requesting a budget adjustment for the first fiscal year of operation in the amount of $16,123 to recognize the grant revenue and authorize the expenditures for the first year. Staff recommends first accepting the grant award from TAMC and approving the budget adjustment in the amounts listed so that we can carry out the grant. And I'm happy to answer questions.
All right, let's go ahead and open it up for public comments. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments, questions. I just want to say, you mentioned that it was approved by TAMC at the board meeting. I was at that board meeting. It was approved by TAMC at that board meeting after a lot of discussion. I mean, it was really competitive situation there for those funds. So it was approved, but it was after like an hour of discussion. So a lot of,
yeah, I watched that. It was a lot.
nothing like a TAMC meeting. So just to let you know that congratulations on the writing of the grant, because it impressed a lot of people. And there was, I think, about a dozen applications. We were rated number 3 of 5 that were approved. So congratulations on your work on that. And I know there's been some talk about the other service that's going to be available also, but I have no doubt that we'll be able to use these funds locally. So congratulations on that. I did have one other question. How are we going to how are we going to get the word out about this program? How are we going to advertise it?
Yes, so there is a planning period that is going to happen between City of Greenfield, my team, and ITN. So we need to advertise to recruit drivers. After that advertising period and training period, then starting later this year into January, we will start promoting the program. We'll still let people know about it, but the full-on outreach and promotion that the rides are actually available will begin January of 2027, unless the only thing that would change that is if we get drivers sooner in the year.
Okay. Have you thought maybe about advertising at things like the senior social and that kind of stuff, and maybe having a table just to?
Yeah, so we're definitely going to do a lot of that advertising, and even person-to-person explanation of what the need is. ITN will be the one who does the driver training. So I don't know exactly how they do that recruitment, but during our meeting, we'll talk about what it is they're looking for, how it is that we can support the recruitment, especially because it's going to serve the City of Greenfield, and we want to provide that opportunity for local residents to be able to have that extra time to support the community.
Any other comments or questions?
Thank you.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on item K6.
Move to adopt 2026-77.
I need a second.
Second.
Then moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, we will now move on to brief reports on conferences, seminars, and meetings attended by mayor and city council. First one up was the League of California Cities. I think there's any report on that, right? That conference is coming up in the fall, correct? The actual.
If you know for sure you're gonna go, just let me know. As soon as I get noticed, 'cause those rooms go quick within the first and second day.
Okay.
And I guess they're just waiting to hit that button.
So get on the list
I do
quickly.
have a League of California Cities, our final committee meeting, or no, the final before the conference, I guess. Conference is the conclusion, will be the virtual one. So my next one will be virtual. It's in the month of August, so I'll have a report for that item next time.
Excellent. All right. Transportation Agency for Monterey County. That one is me. We adopted the Regional Transportation Plan, which is a plan that is adopted so projects are eligible to receive state and federal funds. Your project has to be on there or you can't receive the federal funds, so or state funds. So it's a very important plan. It's developed by AMBAG and then brought over for TANC. So that was on the agenda. We did hear another report on the adaptive traffic signals as we continue to analyze the whether to use this technology versus investing in roundabouts, which are very expensive along Highway 68. There's a lot of discussion on this event and which way we go. I think it's still undetermined. So they proved to be somewhat effective, but they are not the total answer apparently. So they're an improvement, but they're not solving the problem. So we'll move to Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments.
There was no meeting last month.
All right. Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority.
Illegal dumping and litter abatement task force newsletter for June 26th. Had a recap on Earth Day cleanup event. And Maui, Treleven, thank you. Glad you all know this person. He or she. Thank you. Manages special projects for Tri-City disposal and recycling in Gonzales, Greenfield, and Soledad. Quote, some of our events have a very vibrant reuse area. I'm really proud of, says Maury. Reuse is a big priority for their events, which accept donations of usable clothing and household, just lost that phrase, items. Event participants are encouraged to look through their items identified by volunteers as still usable and take whatever they can use. Their volunteers pull out blankets, sheets, towels, and animal crates to donate to South County Animal Rescue. The volunteers scoured through the clothing donation for formal wear to deliver to the Monterey County Free Libraries program that provides the clothing to youth attending special events. Haulers expressed their gratitude to Monterey County Environment Health for facilitating the used oil filter voucher exchange program and Salinas Valley Recycles for providing event staff and hazardous materials collection. The events cannot operate safely or efficiently without the hospitality of local schools, community organizations, shopping centers, and our city public works yards, which provide space for them. Done.
Monterey Salinas Transit.
So as I mentioned earlier, we met yesterday, was our monthly meeting. We started off with appreciation for the outgoing leadership, our chair, Lorraine Worthy, oh no, I'm sorry, Marianne Carbone, and Vice Chair Lorraine Worthy. And welcomed our new chair, Tony Barrera from the City of Salinas, and Vice Chair Luis Alejo from the County Supervisor's Office. And then we approved the CEO to execute grant documents for sustainable transportation planning grant program funds, and to enter into an agreement with Caltrans to receive $592 and change $1,000 to fund MST Comprehensive Operational Analysis Study Project. We received our new assignments for the coming year, our board assignments. I will continue to be on the board policy performance policy committee. That one for the rest of my term. We received a presentation on the Uber voucher pilot program, which I talked about. I think this is great. And then hearing about the TAMC stuff too, the more options, the better. You know, we talked for a long time about how there was a need, there's a big need, and now we're getting these different services in, and it's gonna hopefully help meet some of that need. So that's all great news. And they did mention that they would have people, as they have in the past when there's been changes, like actually on the MST buses, talking to riders and sharing about that, in addition to, you know, social media stuff and pushing information out that way. We authorized a contract for, as part of the SURF project, almost $2.4 million for the Maritime Restoration Project to mitigate the environmental impacts of the SURF project. We also did a first reading of a new MST ordinance regarding trespassing and a camera ordinance. And that's to help, there's been a lot of trespassing on MST property, or even just cars parking in at bus stops and then slowing down, you know, the service to everybody because they're illegally parked. And so we're adopting a formal ordinance to then start the process to work with all the cities so that that's something that can be actually enforced in all the cities. And our next meeting is August 10th. However, we also go dark in August for the MST board. So we schedule that, but anticipating that we probably will not meet in August. So that is all.
All right, very good. South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority.
Meeting, I think it's on the 22nd. So it's next week, next Wednesday.
Monterey County Mayors Association, we did not meet this last month. The meeting would have been the first Friday, which was July the 3rd. So most people were off on vacation. So, the Salinas Valley Mayors and Managers Group, we met June 22nd in Salinas. Lots of discussion on sharing county resources and continued collaboration between the cities. There was discussion regarding the flock cameras. We're working on getting some federal funds to help install cameras throughout South County. So we're working with the federal funds trying to get that. And then there's lots of continued discussion on the cost of animal control throughout our area and how to reduce it. There's no easy answer, just kind of how that all worked out. Paul, did you have anything more on that? Or?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, Planning Commission.
Planning Commission did not meet this month, but they are planning a Planning Commission meeting for next month, in August.
All right, we'll move to closed session. Before we do, I'll open up for public comments regarding closed session. Seeing none, I'll give it to our
City Council will meet in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Conference with labor negotiators. Agency designated representative is City Manager Paul Wood. The employee organizations are Service Employees International Union Local 521, Greenfield Police Officers Association, Greenfield Police Sergeants Association, and International Association of Firefighters Local 4656.
Now I'll open up. We'll do it twice. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn to closed session. We'll reconvene to open session. City attorney report.
I have nothing to report and there's nothing to report from closed session.
Thank you. City manager report.
Okay, so I just want to go over a couple of things maybe get council's view on. So I heard water and billing, we need a workshop on the whole process. And I also heard the workshop on the meters.
Correct.
Does council agree we want to do that?
Yep.
Yes.
Or schedule that?
By workshop, do you mean it has to be a separate meeting or
Oh,
can that
you know
just be
what?
an
We
item?
can actually,
It doesn't have to be. We can make it as short or as long as you want. How do you want, do you want it to be a separate thing or do you want it to be a presentation?
I personally wanted a presentation.
Okay.
presentation to probably like something here at a regular meeting. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I think that's fine. Give us a short version.
Simple or easy, like
Yeah.
really.
10, 15 max, something like that.
Okay, look, I heard Councilor Ortiz talked about, we need to step up regarding some of these, the cleanliness. I put on your beautification committee. We want to talk about maybe establishing one and getting the public really. Is that something that sounds like a good idea?
Yep.
Establish?
Yep.
Maybe we can work it out with like even Earth Day kind of thing.
Yep.
You know, like Earth Day is always the cleanup and taking care of our environment.
Or we.
It's usually in April, usually March or April.
And then also. We're also,
I think you've been working on that one, so.
yeah, we've been working on that.
Mhm.
Is, okay.
Bingo.
Bingo. Okay.
What's his name?
Bingo, I think, so that's gonna come from, we've got it in process.
Okay,
Request for bingo. It has to come before council to be approved by council.
okay.
So, I'll see if we could.
I think they said they applied or something like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah,
is
quite
what
a
I
while.
heard.
Yes.
It's been in the works for a while.
City sponsored event.
We're also waiting on them to supply some information.
So we're waiting for them- Sorry, we're waiting for them to supply us information.
Okay.
City sponsored events. We'll do a presentation on what the issue is. The issue is city doing all these things that really nonprofits do and normally run. It costs us money, it costs us time, and the community should be partaking more in some of these events.
Okay.
Hey, Paul, can we look at the restrooms too for the?
Yes,
please.
yeah, restrooms.
And thank you for the lights, except that now the lights are turned off on Walnut, so
Yeah.
now there's not. So before it was flicking
Yeah,
and now there's not. There's-
Okay.
They turn them off completely.
that's not good.
No, so, and there was pedestrians walking last
Okay,
night
I
around
will
night.
get back with Manuel on that.
I had a request call from when we met about a revised or updated data from the report about the city vacancies, the vacancies in the community development department.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
when we had the presentation and it said there was 2 vacancies, but then you explained to me
Oh,
that
yes.
it didn't include positions that were no longer funded,
No.
but some clarity, like a more transparent report what positions were not gonna be funded the year moving forward, because they're like not technical vacancies, but they are positions then that are,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I have talked to staff about that. I just don't have it yet, so I will follow up on that.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I shouldn't have started. this.
You got a long list.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
All right. I want to go ahead and honor Ms. Diaz's request to close the meeting in honor of Guadalupe Cabrera Cortez. rest in peace. Long life, almost 100 years. So, meeting is adjourned.